Hello everyone and welcome! When Skin Spotlights released the new Swain interactions, I knew I had to make a video about them. The new Swain took a very different approach to the universe of League of Legends. He doesn't simply react to story elements he might be involved in. He also reveals big plot twists we didn't expect. And there's a lot of them. From what I can tell, Swain is a character with vast knowledge of Runeterra. This could be because he was revealed to be half demon, and demons know far more about Runeterra than other creatures. Demons are something like dark elementals which formed from the planet's magic. They are part of the spirit realm, but they can learn how to cross over into the physical world. By doing this, they learn about Runeterra and how its magic works. Prime example of this is Evelynn. It seems like Swain also has this knowledge, and combined with his demonic scouting ravens, he knows a lot more than all the other characters. And because there is a lot to go through, let's get right on it. Obviously, all credit goes to Skin Spotlights.
So he's heard the rumors. The girl who came back.
So let's start with a big one. Normally I don't get too excited when Kassadin's daughter is mentioned somewhere, but Swain talks about her with a twist. Kassadin's new lore talks about a story of a father whose daughter was consumed by the void. In an attempt to bring her back, Kassadin armed himself with ancient relics and dove after her. However, those relics won't fully protect him, they only delay the corruption. That's why Kassadin looks like bootleg Darth Vader. Swain confirms 3 things. 1. Kassadin's daughter is actually real. 2. She wasn't just killed and ripped into pieces, but she was consumed, the same way the Marai are corrupted in Nami's comic. And 3. She now emerged from the void as a mindless pawn. Now, many of you may think that this is a confirmation that we'll get Kassadin's daughter as a champion. And I don't think that's true, however. Keeping her as a side character for the story would give Riot more freedom. They can do anything they want with her without outraging the community if they decide to kill her in the end.
She claimed it was the Frost Queen's grave. They believed her.
This next one is another major plot twist. In Ashe's story, she was forced to back into a tomb in order to defend herself. There she found a tomb with a grave, and that's where she found Avarosa's bow. Or so we thought. You see, Swain is saying that the tomb she unintentionally raided wasn't Avarosa's resting place. This would mean 2 things. 1. The bow Ashe is wielding isn't the bow of Avarosa, but rather a normal Iceborne weapon or a powerful weapon of different origins. And 2. Ashe may not even be related to Avarosa at all, so she isn't fit to rule the Avarosans. I wonder what this twist means for the future of her story.
What is this about? Siblings?
Then we have Aurelion Sol. This quote is a very subtle hint at the real plot behind the universe of League of Legends. The question is, what is Swain pointing out? If he is talking about Targon and the fact that Aurelion is enslaved, maybe whatever is above Targon is ruled by someone related to Aurelion Sol. But I actually think this is a hint at a much better plot twist. I think Swain is talking about the Void War, and I think Swain is saying that the entity, or the creature from the other side of the Void portals, is related to Aurelion Sol. Maybe they are siblings, and maybe that's the reason why only Aurelion Sol can close the Void Rifts, since the fact that only he can do it was never explained. So I really hope that's the case.
They fight the mist above the seas, never looking beneath.
This next one is a bit confusing. Swain says that the real enemy isn't the Black Mist, but rather what's beneath it or beneath them. Again, this could mean one of 3 things. Either this means that the real enemy is the thing below Bilgewater, which could be Nagakeburos. And I wouldn't be surprised by this since Nagakeburos is very spectral-like and undead looking. Or this could be tied to our Darkin theory, where it is possible that a Darkin well was located on the Blessed Isles. And as we know, Noxus has strong connections to the Darkin, so Swain might think they are the real threat. Or maybe the real evil is hidden within Runeterra itself. Maybe the very core of the planet is rotten and we don't know it yet. Maybe that's the reason why demons even exist. So this quote can be explained in many different ways.
An empire built atop centuries of murder.
Then there is a quote against the Black Rose. Here Swain simply mentions that the Black Rose is an organization that manipulates and kills people in order to keep their power over Noxus. LeBlanc will most likely also get a story update, so that will be explained later.
My, does your dear grandniece know what C has been up to?
This quote expands one of the best stories of 2016. This doesn't sound like much, but again, this is a pretty awesome twist. Swain mentions that C, who's a Piltovan criminal and a brilliant mastermind, is related to Camille after all. Just in case you don't remember, this is how the Pharaoh's family runs. You always have two people at the very top of the family. The head or the master of the clan, and the principal intelligencer. This is the role of someone who's dealing with the darker problems of the family. In the Pharaoh's family, this is Camille. The master of the clan used to be her brother Stephen, but he turned against his own family and Camille had to take him down. Later, Camille installed her favorite grandniece into this position. Since it is her grandniece who is in contact with C, this means that her brother Stephen had a child, and the child of that child, or Stephen's grandchild, knows who C is. So it is possible that the Pharaoh's family is using C to deal with their own problems, since in the end it is the master of the Pharaoh's family who's in contact with C.
The payment for her suffering in Shurima. A black rose.
This is simply a nod to Cassiopeia's story. Cassiopeia hired a guide who turned out to be Sivir to guide her into the tomb of the emperors where she sought treasures and power. She then betrays Sivir, opens the tomb and gets corrupted with a serpent statue's venom. She then returned to Noxus as a half-human and half-snake, and everyone, including her family, shunned her. That's when the Black Rose noticed what she really was and they recruited her.
No daughters, only soldiers.
This is a reference to Darius' recent comic. At the end, it is hinted, yet not confirmed, that Darius might have 1 or 2 daughters. And it seems like Darius himself doesn't know, but he is suspicious. This Swain's quote basically confirms it.
Shaped by humanity. A reflection.
Now this is a cool reference. We know that demons take shape to evoke certain emotions in people. Evelyn is aiming for lust, Tahm Kench is all about greed, and Nocturne is all about fear and nightmares. It was strongly hinted that the main villain of the massive story for Demacia was Nocturne, but it was never confirmed. In any case, Nocturne gives people nightmares in their sleep, and he slowly drives entire towns into deep depression. As Swain says, Nocturne is a reflection of their fears.
A glimpse, mere seconds into the future.
I don't think this one has a deeper meaning, but it could mean that Swain is taunting Echo. He could be saying that Swain can see much further into the future. Again, this could be possible because he is half demon.
A vault empty of relics, but filled with corpses.
This quote is aimed at Elise, who's also a member of the Black Rose. Elise lures people onto her boat with her beauty, and then she sails for the Shadow Isles. There she offers her temporary followers to the spider god we know from Twisted Treeline. By doing this, Elise is granted immortality and never-ending youth. This is what Swain is pointing at. She is piling up corpses in order to retain her powers.
She spurned so many suitors. I wonder they did not see why.
Now this could be another plot twist. In Fiora's story there were many suitors who wanted to stand by Fiora's side, but she rejected all of them. This means she doesn't want anyone too close to her. So maybe Fiora has some dark secrets. Or maybe Swain is relating to the fact that Fiora might not be into men. That could also be possible.
They squabble as the winds howl, and the wards fade.
This quote is a simple taunt explaining what the barbarians do. Nothing too meaningful.
His secret died with his sculptor.
But this is a cool one. This might mean that Durand, who sculpted Gario, might have placed something inside Galio so he could live. So maybe it's not the Petricide that gives Galio the power to move. Maybe there is something else inside him. Something like a world rune or something with similar power.
Ignorant of the very magic you carry into battle. A Demacian.
This quote could mean one of two things. Either he is referencing Galio, as we mentioned before, since Demacians literally carry Galio into every major battle, or Swain could be talking about Petricite, the material that absorbs magic which Demacians use for their armor. It also might be of magical origins. This would make sense since theoretically only magic would be able to counter magic.
Magic spills from their land like blood from a wound.
This could be revealing the untold history of Ionia. We don't know a lot about the history of this place, so Swain might be referencing a future story. From this, it seems like Ionia was a place of concentrated magic, but something happened and the magic started to spread into the rest of Runeterra. This is a wild guess, however.
His blood is the only useful thing about him.
Now this is a reference to something I forgot was even canon. If I remember correctly, it was Jarvan's blood that was used to resurrect Sion. This is what Swain is talking about.
Faces fading in the flames. It was all her fault.
Then we have one talking about Jinx. It seems like Swain knows that Jinx caused some sort of a fire that shaped her life. Maybe that's how she became an orphan. Or maybe this is somehow connected to Warwick recognizing her. Right now, I can't even guess what else this one could mean.
The first oath, the one she made to him.
Then we have Callista's oath. Callista was sworn to serve and protect the king of an unknown empire. But since Swain simply calls the king him, this makes me think that maybe the empire from the story of the Ruined King might have been the Immortal Bastion. Maybe that's why Swain knows who he was.
He asked her to do what she could not, to kill me.
This seems like a reference to a story we don't know about. This could also mean that Katarina might also get a story update. Right now, the only assassination she couldn't complete was that of a random Demacian general, so I don't think that one was about Swain.
A child who has known only hate confuses it for love.
This is just a clever wording for what Kayn believes in. Kayn was a Noxian child used as a weapon during the invasion of Ionia. He was trained to hate, but then Zed took him under his wings and he was taught to hate those who don't understand them. This is what he confuses for love.
Which is the greater tragedy, that she fell in battle, or that she fell in line?
Now this one confused me. For some reason I can't recall reading about Lux falling in battle. Could this be the hypothetical battle with her magic side? But that is referenced in Swain's second line. He said that she fell in line, as in she stopped openly using her magic. I still wonder what the falling in battle means. Maybe you guys remember something I don't.
So many obsessed with the hero. Tell me of the hammer.
This is a simple quote saying that the hammer of Orlon has a far greater power than we might realize. We don't really know where the hammer came from. We just know that Orlon randomly carried it with him. So maybe that will be revealed later.
Her arch-rival a Tuskvall? How undignified.
Another quote taunting a weaker character. Quinn was beaten by a beast and Swain is laughing at her.
She held their hands as they died, hoping they would drag her with them.
Here Swain mentioned how Riven refused to fight in the Ionian invasion after she saw what Noxus was doing. She simply wished she could die there, unless this is mentioning a hidden story about her parents.
A king remains in the mist, and another marches.
This is a reference to the Ruined King again. And once again, this really makes me think that he is pointing at himself as another king. Maybe the Ruined King really was a Noxian ruler, which would make Callista and Hecarim Noxians too.
The echo of a soul. Only pain brings it back.
Nothing major here. Sion was resurrected by the Black Rose, that's pretty much it.
She feared what she could not understand. Herself.
This also isn't major news. Talia was very confused and scared of her ability to move the earth. Swain only supports wielding magic.
Those born of magic rarely realize its curse, until it is too late.
Here Swain points out that the Vastaya are born of magic, which we already knew. But he also hints that maybe there are side effects we don't know about. Maybe that's why Zed is drinking Ionia of its magic.
A pattern, spreading. It has learned to be alive.
Here he acknowledges how the void works. It spreads, consumes, and adapts.
She was closer than he realized.
This one, however, could be bigger than we think. Swain could be referencing something the community believes in, that Jinx is Warwick's daughter. Both of them were in Zone and both of them were causing problems. Maybe they really were closer than he realized. The rest of the quotes usually just describe the champion's story, but there are a couple of quotes that reveal something new.
It was only a matter of time, Darius. Do what you must.
This could be a quote where Swain is referencing a future story. Do what you must could mean that Darius learned that his daughter is not a soldier and that he has to take her down.
You stood by me when I was outcast, so I stood by you when you were drunk. In spite of the stench.
This quote is pretty funny, to be honest. It reveals that Darius, Draven and Swain might have a lot more history together.
Am I to seek revenge for my poor departed arm? If anything, girl, you did me a favor.
Here, however, we got another major reveal. It seems like it was Aurelia who cut off Swain's arm. This could be because of a number of reasons. What seems to have happened is that Aurelia was protecting a demonic shrine, something like the Well of Varus but with a demon inside. Swain came in to claim the power, she cut off Swain's hand in a battle, and then the demon replaced it. This is a wild guess, but I think the story will reveal something similar.
Do they know who killed your father? Or do they still blame me?
This confirms that Katarina's father is indeed missing and that we still don't know who did it.
If you take me, you will leave Noxus with something far worse.
And this one reveals that there might be a far worse suitor waiting to claim Noxus. I really wonder who that might be. Or maybe he's saying that if he dies, the demon that's inside him would go free.
Why is he still alive? Another one of Darkwill's loose ends.
This is a cool reference to Darkwill, the previous leader of Noxus who might be the one who used Singed's weapon in the invasion. As I said, the rest of his quotes are references to stories we have either mentioned here already, or references to already existing stories. So now I have only one question. How does he know all of this? It seems like he might be getting this information with his eye ability, even though those quotes are through his root. So his demon might be giving him vision all over Runeterra. So Swain might have the ultimate knowledge of the world. This is the only way to explain how he could know about Camille, Jinx or even the Void. So this really got me hyped for his story. And I just want to remind you that the champion's story is usually revealed when he hits the live servers. So it is usually a week or two after he appears on PBE. But with that, that's it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, feel free to rate the video and subscribe for more lore and news. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Discord if you'd like to chat. We recently started streaming again. I'll do at least one stream a week, so feel free to follow us on Twitch too. Of course, special thanks to our patrons for going the extra mile. I am so thankful that you decided to chip in instead of buying a Big Mac. And with that, thank you all so much for being here and for your support, you know I really appreciate it. And as always, thank you come again.